it almost becomes, if the recording goes bad, like if you realize you've been recording the whole time, you almost just go full tilt primal. There's nothing, it's so weird, it's such a yin and yang thing. Like, we got the shiny magic box in front of us where we can look up whatever we want and do whatever we want. We're in the fucking future. We're 2001 Space Odyssey right now. We're looking at each other, having a conversation. Alright? And yet, as soon as the thing goes bad, it's like, it's not working, it's just... it just goes that. It just jumps.
Well, that's what happens. It's just your primal rage comes out. I don't know what it is about technology. There's something about, like, the computer, you know, vehicles, anything that's, like, from the future, technically, also can bring out the past all at the same time. And it could do it on, like, a dime. I mean, it could turn primal and brutal, and you can go rampaging in seconds. You know what I mean?
Isn't that the weirdest thing, though? It's just like, it's just a constant reminder that we're in the future, and yet, the second it goes out, we're just restored back to, I mean, the second, like, the bombs go off, or, like, you know, the apocalypse happens, and we all lose, you know, all of our cell phones go out and whatever, I guarantee you everybody in unison is just gonna go full ape. Just full primal. Just like smashing it against the ground. Just like fucking throwing shit at each other.
You know, just like running across like the pavement like on all four. It will take, you know, all these years of evolution will just go away in a second.
Or like that shit, like it's sometimes the weird random shit like you can't really pin on. Like, all right, there's the obvious stuff like a chimp does. It does the strut, stands on its hind legs, and just like pats its chest. It's like, you know, just that kind of shit. Like, okay, he's challenging you or whatever. But then there's the shit where it starts just running in circles and kind of like running backwards. It's fucking throwing leaves up. Like, oh shit, I can't read what's going on here.
It's like doing the mating call from George of the Jungle. Oh,
look out for that tree.
You know, I really wish Brendan Fraser would have made more of those movies. I know there's like a sequel to that movie that doesn't have Brendan Fraser in it, but I feel like that's probably better left on the VHS rental lot.
You know, it's one of those things. I remember liking that movie as a kid. I don't know how it would hold up now. I remember as a kid I enjoyed it.
You're talking about the first one, not the mysterious sequel.
Yeah, the sequel, the straight to DVD sequel that I don't think anybody saw.
I have never met somebody who's seen that. That's a rare breed out there. You're like, you've seen the George of the Jungle 2 sequel? Yes, I have. You know, I found it one day at a lone VHS store. I think it's still there to this day. Is the store open? I don't know, but it's like a lost tomb. Something Laura Croft should go after.
I'm Clint Eastwood. Why would I rent that?
I mean, one time, my son, Scott, said, Dad, I want to rent a movie. And, well, lo and behold, he's got George the Jungle 2 in his primate hands. Like I said, well, because Scott Eastwood's probably about the exact same age as us, maybe like 2 years older, which is weird to think, but...
I'll look at someone 1 or 2 years older than me, and I don't feel like I'm in the... Like, I remember, what kind of tripped me out is when I found out I'm the same age as Scarlett Johansson. Like, she's about maybe a few months older than me or something like that. And that was one of those things, because every so often you'll just look at somebody, and they don't look old. And, you know, they look young, but they're not, like, you young.
Uh-huh.
So the second, you're kind of... you get what I'm saying?
They don't got, like, a Pokemon sense? T-shirt on or something to, like, solidify, like, their age range or group, you know what I mean? If Scott Eastwood is walking around with, like, you know, remember, like, maybe, like, an N64 T-shirt on, maybe it'd be like, oh, okay, I see what age he is. It's like, I can tell, but... If he's just dressed like a regular man, then it's like, I don't know, maybe he's just an adult, that's all I know.
Roughly, nearly all my shirts either have a band on it, maybe like actually, you know what? I have 4 more Cowboy Bebop t-shirts than I thought I'd ever have. And beyond that, maybe a Nintendo t-shirt, and then beyond that, just a bunch of flannels and button-ups, some without flannel. So it's one of those things where if I just see, I don't know, every so often you'll see someone around the same age as yourself and you don't realize, oh yeah, that just for whatever reason, I still have trouble knowing I'm 31.
Yeah, it happens. Well, before we go any farther, I want to say, George of the Jungle is fucking always amazing and it holds up super well. I felt that was a definite I had to say that because that movie is so good. But maybe it's just one of those, like, that might be a perfect example of a generational thing. Just like, George the Jungle, I watched that like a bunch. Like when that movie came out, I mean, also like my cousin technically worked on that film too, so it was like I remember seeing like merchandise from it. So it probably only added to the magic of George of the Jungle, but like that's just a funny movie with great jokes in it. Like one of those like Brendan Fraser classics, you know? I mean, like that was like his prime time. I know some people be like, that's not his prime time.
All
like,
4 of them?
Well, that, The Mummy, Airheads. I got more. I know it'll come
3.
to me.
3. Mummy Returns.
Yeah, Mummy Returns. That's I count 2 mummies there.
Bedazzled. We'll go
Bedazzled. That's a good one. Encino Man. He's got a cameo in Son-in-Law. I know that doesn't count.
All right.
He's got a good handful of movies there. Oh no, here's a really good one. Blast from the Past. That's an amazing one.
There was that period. He's that period where he just like had a lot of comedies in the 90s, and then he just really tried action, and just for whatever reason, people couldn't, even like in whatchamacallit, even in The Mummy, people still like, even though they liked that movie, they had trouble taking him super seriously for whatever reason.
Well, because you know what not Ben Affleck, but you know what Brendan Fraser is, though? He's kind of like the goofy Brad Pitt, if you really think about it, because he's a good-looking guy. You know, he's jacked and ripped and everything like that, but he's just kind of got the goofy, you know, face and jokes kind of. It's one of those weird ones. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like maybe if he would have started off in action the whole time and never did comedy, he could have like maybe just went down a completely different path. But since he kind of was in comedy right off the bat, you know, I think he kind of became the goofy pretty boy.
Do you, I don't even remember what the movie was called. I remember just catching the last 10 minutes of it. And it was one of those things where it was some really intense drama. And it was just, I'm not gonna lie, every so often you come across one of those dramas that's trying to be so intense and try and be so heavy, it just kind of comes back being funny.
Yeah, I love those ones.
Well, this was a Brendan Fraser one, and I don't know how big of his part, I mean, this scene, the last 10 minutes of this movie are his, essentially. I don't know how much of the rest of the movie he's in. But I guess he's a drug addict or something with a troubled past, and he's pointing a gun at his father, who is ridiculously rich. And he has his young, hot wife there, and then there's some other people in the room. He's like, do you realize what you did to me, what you did to my life, what you did to our family? Just going on. And, you know, he's just really chewing up the scenery, like, I'm a drug addict, I had dreams, I had hopes, I was in Looney Tunes back in action, and this is what it got me, you know? And then, at some point, I started busting up laughing, because this is a fucked up thing, but it was just so forced. It's just like, oh no, we gotta roll in the sad train, and just let it keep on going. You think it's about to stop, but it just keeps on fucking going. He's like, my mother killed herself because of you. I remember I was 10, and I walked in on you eating out our our maid or some bullshit like that. He says, do you remember what you said to me? I'm not making this up, by the way. I'm going off memory. So
just going like, it pops up Oscar scene. This is what they were shooting for.
That's what he was aiming for. He says, you told me you were giving her an oral vaginal exam. Just like, what the fuck is that? And then somebody, I don't remember who, but he ends up getting shot. Credits.
Oh, there you go. I like shot in credits.
I want to say
my kind of ending right
like,
there.
I want to say the cops roll in like, oh yeah, we've been after this guy for a while or some bullshit like that, and the dad looks a little kind of like, oh man, maybe I'm not such a good dad. Credits.
Maybe I'm not such a good dad. No, stop rolling those credits. I can change, damn it. No, it's fading. No. Just goes to like some kind of sad. What year is this movie?
Oh, this was
2000s.
This was 2000s. This was like around, like probably, because there's that period where Looney Tunes back in action. I think that was the last time we saw him in a big movie with like as the main character.
Then he went to CG land from that point on. He got sucked into like the Matrix.
He went to CG land, or he's playing supporting roles. Yeah, this had to be like somewhere like in the 2000s, like maybe 2005 or somewhere from 2000, somewhere in like 2005 to 2010 maybe.
Oh, okay, so a little bit later, but Just one of those things. You just never know how those go through life and so on.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's getting work here and there. I mean, if you looked up his IMDb, like, oh, look, he was an episode of CSI.
Yeah, well, exactly. Plus, no matter what, you're going to get that George the Jungle, royalty check come in the mail every 3 months.
That was, one of those things where there was a time when a movie based off something I knew was coming out, and I would want to see it just because it was something I knew, even if I wasn't a huge fan of it. I just wanted to see it because I was curious to see the adaptation of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now we get that so often, it's like, oh yeah, big deal, whatever. Things I like, I'm not even sometimes that excited. Things I like when they get a movie, I'm not even all that excited for it now. But I remember that one, I guess that was the first, that was our parents, when they started making their shit they grew up on. And they're like, oh, look, this. And now they're past the point, oh, we've seen that shit. We don't care anymore.
Yeah, well, because that was the time period they had, the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie came out. They had the Dudley Do-Right. They had... Oh, there we go. There's another
all right, do we want to put that on
one.
A list of... Do we want to put that on a list of, the good ones?
That's one of those ones I haven't seen in a long time. I liked it when I was a kid, but then I also liked a lot of Dudley Do-Right and all those, cartoons anyways. Because, what was the company that put all those ones together? Because the George the Jungle, Dudley Do-Right, Rocky and Bullwinkle, it was all the same. That was all, the same block.
Well, that was, that's... I don't remember the name of the guys, but they're all the same animation team. But I remember George the Jungle was a Disney production. I don't know if Dudley Do-Right was. Rocky and Bullwinkle was.
I think George the Jungle's the Hollywood Pictures, no different than Mario Brothers and Son-in-Law and Encino Man.
I could have sworn that one was Disney.
Maybe it's straight Disney. I was thinking that might have been the very end of the Hollywood Pictures section.
I remember, whenever I think Hollywood Pictures, first thing comes to mind is Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, The Rock, Sixth Sense,
Son-in-Law.
Man. Just weird.
That was actually, there's a good, 10 years of that company. That they actually had a lot of great pictures.
They're just, yeah. It was one of those things where, I don't know, when I was a kid, people say, Disney makes R-rated movies. No, they don't. Yeah, that, what was it?
Yeah, Pulp Fiction and Clerks.
Those are technically Disney movies.
It's so weird to say.
That.
They're not made by Disney, but they just happen to have, once they finally go into Miramax, then they're partially touched by the mouse.
And that being said, Disney has my favorite movie ever made, so...
2 of them. Clerks and Pulp Fiction.
2 of them, yep.
Shit.
That's true.
And Encino Man.
Well, I'm not going to put that one,
not the Pulp Fiction Clerks category. But,
no.
But hey, welcome to the Old Man Orange Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
Yeah, 14-minute intro or something like that.
Big fatty intro with Ryan Dunigan, just in case anybody was wondering who that cat was.
My name. That's my name, yeah.
But yeah, good old Brendan Fraser taking us back to the olden days. You know what's kind of weird is I was actually watching, this has nothing to do with Brendan Fraser, but for some reason when you said The Rock, it reminded me. It all kind of comes in a sequence. Is I went through a Bad Boys marathon because I was like, you know what, I haven't watched these in forever, and I wouldn't mind sitting down and watching both of them. And it's really amazing though. It's you know where you were when you watched Bad Boys, especially Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 2 was one of those. It's that movie that people don't bring up as much as they used to be, but that was such a huge must-have movie of that early 2000s DVD 2-disc with the big fatty special features. I mean, it's in the category of having Matrix, Gladiator, Spider-Man, those
the shiny cardboard case.
Yeah, because it had the shiny cardboard. That's right, because I still have the overslip that went over.
That's how it was legit. That's you was for some serious shit.
You know what I mean? And just that magic of it. But I don't know what it is. When I watch that movie, it's I literally get flashbacks to where I was watching that movie in 2000. What did it come out? 1 or 2?
It had to come out 2003 or 4.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Because it references 9/11, so you know it. That tells you where it is at.
I got a Bad Boys 2 kinda story. I remember I was visiting my cousin one point, and at the time he was married to this one lady, or they were their boyfriend girlfriend, and they're like, let's go see let's rent Bad Boys 2. I'm like, you know what? I want that movie already, so I'm just gonna buy it and we'll watch it. Okay, so I bring it over, we watch it. At some point we leave to go get food and we come back. They have a daughter. and the daughter just had the case of it, the cardboard slip-out case, and was gnawing it, so all the sides are soaked with spit, and it's just,
just like an animal going at it.
Pretty much, yeah. And I was just like, I didn't make a big thing of it or anything, but like the older cousin was like, he says, what the fuck? Why'd you let her play with that? Like, oh, it's just the slip. It's not a big deal. As long as she's playing with the movie.
There's the part where, like, if it's a movie, it just cuts to you later driving fucking home. Like, she had to turn the fucking case. She had to chew the goddamn fucking case. Just slamming the fucking, like, dashboard. Just, like, hard cut from that moment. Like, oh, it's okay. That's fine, honey. Oh, it's like a Pulp Fiction reference. Like, out of all the fucking things she could have forgot, she forgot the goddamn fucking watch.
That's my favorite thing. It's like, you have any idea how fucking stupid you are? Breaks the TV. It's not your fault. That's like one of my favorite scenes in any movie. But I'm just like, I'm not like sitting there like brooding or all angry about it or anything, but I'm like, oh, okay. I was just like one of those things like, cause we're movie buffs. We want our shit looking nice, and I just got this thing, and it was just brand new. It was only out for like 3 days.
Probably $25 at that time period.
Oh yeah, it was
$25 at that time period when you make $6 an hour.
Yeah. So and like I know it's just a cardboard slip out case, but the thing was just all damaged from this little girl sucking on it the whole time, and I gotta say this. They eventually got married, and they're divorced. And I'm fucking happy.
It was karma. It came back around.
No more Christmases with her.
You know what I mean? It's just like when Bruce Willis gets home and the toaster goes off. You know what I mean? It just gave him just that much of a moment. Oh, that's hilarious. But, boy, Bad Boys is one of those movies, though. Both of them, too. It's just like, they're so fucking good. Like, they're just like pure perfect action movies.
Yeah, I did remember. I mean, I love both those movies, but I remember hating the villain so much for the second one. I mean, the villain in the first one's not likable. He's a little more threatening. The second one, he's like, I am a Cuban villain drug dealer. Just yelling the whole time. Like, he never actually just talks.
Yeah, he's always angry, and he's always like, spending money on something or telling his grandma or mother to do something else.
No one comes. What was the line? It's like, no one comes in here, attacks my home, my family, or my money. Shoots the guy in the head. She's like, you killed Fredo. He's like, hey, mama, he killed himself. Okay, talk to his mother. Bye-bye.
It's like, oh, I always liked him, I always liked Enrico or whatever his name was.
And there's the part where they're like, that was also the thing where it started. I think that's where Michael Bay, maybe I'm wrong here. I think that's the thing where Michael Bay started doing the 360. Like in every action movie he does, he eventually does the thing where he does a 360 if there's a shootout or something like that around the whole fight scene.
Well, it's funny because when I was watching those movies, you could kind of watch the progression. Like, and that Michael, or in Bad Boys 2 has a lot. The rotating camera was just as big as can be, and I kind of started thinking about it because there's a couple directors that are all in about that similar category, and it sounds weird to say it, but it's like Tony Scott and Michael Bay make very similar looking movies. I mean, maybe not like script wise, but like. They both were going after that same kind of design, but when I was really watching Bad Boys on like that, I was like, what Michael Bay was really doing? He's aping John Woo a lot, and then John Woo comes in and starts doing the Michael Bay thing as time goes on too. It's kind of weird how they all mesh together. Those kind of directors, you know what I mean?
It's almost the trading places of filmmakers.
Well, they just sort of like, it's that very like highly stylized action, very flashy, quick editing, the camera always has sort of like movement in it. Because Tony Scott did a lot of that kind of stuff too. It's like there was a lot of almost like experimental Tony Scott movies in the early 2000s, just the way he decided to like shoot them. Perfect example is that, not Natalie Portman, but Keira Knightley movie, fucking great film.
Assignment?
No.
Not The Assignment?
Not The Assignment.
Assassin?
Domino, that's the one.
Thank you, Laura.
That's an amazing movie, but that's like super experimental. You know what I mean when you watch it? That'd be a great retrospect to do at some point. I kind of forgot about that film.
I've actually never seen that one.
You never seen it? Oh shit! I'll have to get you a copy of it because it is just badass. I'd put it up in like top 5 Tony Scott movies. That's how good it is.
Is that the one where Mickey Rourke is training her how to be an assassin?
Yep, that's the one. But they all kind of have, that sort of feel. Same like Michael Bay. And I feel like it kind of, bless you, comes from like it comes from like the John Woo style, especially at Bad Boys, because there's like whole times of Will Smith's running around with 2 guns and slow motion diving and shooting. And I don't know why. I guess I just didn't put 2 and 2 together like till about now, or maybe I did and just forgot, and then it kind of came back to me. You know how that kind of goes in movies, when you haven't seen them in a while.
There's that period from like mid-90s and on where everyone's doing like the sideways guns. Like it's not just your whole, not only single hand gun, which a lot of people who shoot tell you that's not the way to do it, but then 2 guns diagonally. Yeah.
Like Dante style from like Devil May Cry.
And diving, shooting like that. So there's that period where that was just like in every action movie. Even Matrix had that. Not just obviously 2 guns shooting, but I mean the diagonal thing.
Yeah, they were just like, it's just the stylish action, and the thing too is I was watching a couple of movies, because I watched, when Mission Impossible came out, I was watching Mission Impossible 2 again, of course, so there's a John Woo movie, and then I oddly watched Paycheck with Ben Affleck, that I hadn't seen in a long time. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot that was a John Woo movie too, and you just start... Movie? Yeah, but it has it almost feels like that movie right there is a perfect example. It feels like a Michael Bay movie, and I don't mean that like a bad way, because I know Michael Bay is always associated with mostly negativity, but really... at the end of the day, if you minus out Transformers, like Michael Bay's movies are really all like close to being like, not say perfect, but they're like all fantastic movies in general for the most part. You know what I mean?
I think the thing is, he's just known to be a guy who's style over substance, and once he did Transformers, he just doubled down on that. And I think a lot of people were just, I don't know, I think they got kind of tired of that whole thing, but for what he is, he's a good action director. You don't go to see a Michael Bay movie to, challenge your sensibilities or your viewpoint on life. You go there to just watch shit get fucked up and explosions, and he's good at that. And even though Transformers, the last 3 especially, were way too fucking long and goofy, he still had some cool action scenes in there.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, even the Transformers movies, I don't think that, like, I don't say any of them are, like, terrible. They're just, they're not perfect, like, if that's what you want, but they can still be fun,
I think the last one was pretty terrible.
Yeah, I'll take that back. Well, the last one was until that episode of David Razzie where we started re-explaining the movie, and it almost sounded better when we were talking about it, like, later on. I don't know why that was, but, like, I felt I enjoyed the movie much more talking about it than when I watched it.
Well, I remember hearing just reviews on that one and going to see it and just kind of going there like, I'm going to hope it's good, but even if it's silly, it's just going to be a silly, fun action movie. Maybe there'll be some stupid shit in it, but, I come to expect that with these movies. And it just kept on going and going, and it was just so awkward and so bumbling. Like, everybody in that movie, there's like a bumbling scene. Everything just kind of bumbles into each other. And then you have, like the whole part with Bumblebee and Optimus at the end. Like, Optimus like, Bumblebee, you transform me. Or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And it's just... And I was just like, oh god, this is going on for way too long. At some point, I'm like, this just end. Just end already.
Oh yeah, because it was like fucking long too.
It was like almost 4 hours.
I don't think it was that long. I think it was almost. It was
like 3 hours. It was 3 hours.
It was about 3 hours. It wasn't like. It felt. I'll say it felt like it was 4 hours.
It was just explosion fucking.
But boy, you go back to Bad Boys 1 and you watch, like, I love the experimental kind of filmmaking he has in there, because technically, obviously he made a bunch of movies, or not movies, but commercials and music videos and all that kind of crap beforehand. But that's technically his first time going, like, balls to the wall, like, making an action movie and so on. And there's just, like, I love just, like, the choices, because it has that kind of feel. It's like, seems like when you watch, like, El Mariachi, you get kind of camera angles that you would never see in a normal movie, you know what I mean? You get that kind of experimental feel, and Bad Boys has a bunch of that in there that I never really maybe noticed first time around, or, once again, I forgot. Old Man Orange podcast, we forget these things the older we get.
I remember loving both those movies a lot, but I haven't seen either of them probably like in 10 years.
That's how I felt too. I hadn't seen them in so long, and I was like, you know what? And I kept thinking about it for the last year. I was like, dude, I gotta pull Bad Boys out again. Gotta pull Bad Boys out. And then I just finally, I'm like, you know what? I think it was when I was watching Rambo, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking talk about an action movie marathon. Let's watch fucking Bad Boys. Pull that thing out. And it was just like, yep, it's time. It's time to go to town. And then since then, I've actually just been on just like an action movie marathon of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I wish I've been watching more movies lately. I haven't. Getting ready to. I'm gonna be gone out of the country pretty soon, so I'm just trying to take care of things, prepare for that. But what have I been watching? God, I came into this. Originally, we had a certain guest planned, and unfortunately, they couldn't make it. Something came up, so I was like, okay, we'll leave them. Like, oh shit, so this episode's kind of last minute. But God, what have I been watching? I've mostly just been trying to keep up with my comic books. That's mostly been doing. Very few things I've been watching lately.
Yeah, I could cut. My comic books. I've kind of went through. I've went through like Southern Bastards 4, which was awesome as always. I finally got around that one, and then started halfway through Rock Candy Mountain, but I feel bad about that. Like my comic selection has been very like put on the back burner of back burners, you know? Like movies are one of those ones like I can mostly always have a little bit of time to watch a movie because I mostly just throw one on right before I go to bed, and you know, I'll watch it in parts. Sometimes it'll take me 2 or 3 or 4 nights to finish a movie. Oh, I will say there was a movie I did watch that was literally the most American movie possible, but it wasn't made in America.
What is that?
And I mean by America is the American spirit. And this was a movie from Thailand called Born to Fight.
I heard about this movie.
Well, it was one of those movies I probably had sitting for like 3, maybe 4, maybe not that long. Let's say 3 years just sitting on my shelf. And I knew I was going to like it. I'm like, you know what I mean? I heard good things about this movie. I finally sat down, I'm like, I'm throwing this on. Whatever. I'm in a kung fu movie. In a mood right now for it. Let's do it. And I throw that movie on, and, you know, at first it just kind of, like, starts off. It's like, you know, police, you know, action, you know. And there's some stunts in there. They're like, oh, my gosh, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, dangerous-looking, like, stunts. But it's like, that's what you get in Thailand. That's what makes Thailand cinema really good. And it comes from the same director as Ong Bak 1 and The Protector, The Elephant Protector.
That makes reason enough to see it.
But what happens is, like, this like little town in Thailand gets taken over. At first, it just has these sports players. They're like a rugby guy and soccer guys, and you know, they're like donating like all kinds of food and water to this small town on the outskirts of Thailand or whatever. And then of course, this like military group comes in and takes it over, and there's a big action scene. It's almost like Rambo 4, where it's just like they're just shooting people left and right, and kids and women and children. It doesn't make a difference, you know who it is. And he just kind of goes through, and then they kind of got like hostages, and you know they're trying to call the Thailand government. They're like, we're gonna blow up Bangkok, or you know, or whatever, unless you give us the money. And there's a part where this is where it just starts to go like pure, just feeling like, yeah, American spirit, even though it's in Thailand. The Thailand national anthem comes on the radio, and the people are sitting there, and they're just so angry at this military. They stand up and they start singing it like loud and proud, and just so much so where they're like, "You sit down, you sit down." I mean, it's all like, you know, subtitled and so on, but. And as it keeps going on, then they just literally, like, as the song finishes with just so much pride, they just run towards the guys in the guns. Just people getting shot down, but they don't care. And then they just, like, you know, fly in knee kicks to the face and everything like that, and just start taking them down and just, like, fighting the power to bring it back. And then as it keeps going on, I mean, there's like an hour-long action scene of this. It just goes like, it's just pure chaotic. And there's one guy who's a cop who's here like the whole time, and he's kind of like hiding out and so on. That's our main character, who looks like a Tony Jaa knockoff, but he's really badass anyways.
I'm going to say, if this is a Thai movie, there's got to be a lot of elbows and knees to the face.
Oh, there's tons of them.
Muay Thai.
But then it gets to the point where there's like, you know, because there's a bunch of soccer guys and rugby guys there. There's the part where guys like slow motion action scene where a guy like kicks like a soccer ball and it bounces off a wall and it hits the guy with the gun and knocks him out. But it sounds stupid when you explain it, but it looks kind of badass all at the same time. Or another guy like he grabs like a pot and he kind of jump shuffles and flings it across and it hits a guy. But it just kind of goes crazy like that, and just battle scenes and so on. And then there's a part too where the Thailand flag gets broken down because they get shot and it falls. And this guy's like, no! And he starts running over and he grabs the flag like seconds before it's about to hit the ground. And he picks it up and he starts waving it like Mel Gibson Patriot style and just starts fighting guys off while holding the flag. And I love this. That guy holds the flag the rest of the movies. Just...
I'm not dropping it.
No, God. And there was some other stuff in there. I'm kind of forgetting it by now, but I was almost like, dude, this movie needs like an American remake where it takes place at like a barbecue in Texas. And what happens is like drug cartels come in and it just has that same, because this movie's like, I've almost never seen a movie as patriotic as this movie. This movie is like as patriotic as you can shit. But just imagine you crank that up with like Texas, patriotic, and it's just like I just picture like a lot of these scenes you can almost like replicate. You know what I mean? Like the flag falling to the ground, the guy picks it up right beforehand, and so on.
I guess you can get some like MMA guys. You can get some like football players.
Yeah, some maybe wrestlers or something like that in there too, and just like really like. God, there was like one other part in there that was just like really like patriotic. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but yeah, just all around badass, just total great action, you know. But almost it was almost just neat in itself just to watch that. It made me laugh and so on.
Like they saw the Patriot, they're like, that's cute.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's how it feels. It feels like Patriot meets Rambo 4.
I want to see this movie now. I've heard about that, and it's one of those ones I actually heard about this on Junk Food Cinema a long time ago.
Maybe that's probably where I heard about it and bought it from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just curious to know because we're used to seeing like well, not so much more recently, but older movies, 90s and back, used to seeing a lot of like America patriotism. There's even like a little bit after there's that period of 9/11. Little after 9/11, we got a lot of it. Then it's kind of weird how quickly in a few years when people start questioning the war, you saw a lot of patriotism like slow down. Even movies about fighting in Afghanistan or Iraq, there's still this sense of like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, they don't want to just have that like, come on, let's go in there and show these dirty camel jockeys who's boss. Merc. Yeah, exactly. One of those kind of things like that. Get the old John Wayne. God, I was drawing a blank on what that last part was. I will say it was like just as big of like a moment as like there was the themes or there was the Thailand like national anthem. Went into the carrying the flag. God, what was it? It's gonna kill me all night not knowing. I can't remember what that was, but no, totally an awesome movie. One of those just like pure amazing kung fu movies. Just like. I would say definitely a must watch. I would say maybe not like a classic as much as like Ong Bak or The Elephant Protector is, but close to it.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I actually did see a movie a little bit ago. I like this movie a lot, but it just totally got my mind. Oh yeah, I did see this a little bit ago. Have you seen Blind Spotting at all?
No, is this an in-theaters movie?
It's an in-theaters movie.
See, MoviePass has been so jacked up, it like literally has like destroyed like me seeing movies, sadly, like in the recently. Because you just kind of get to that point where you're so used to like using your MoviePass card and so on like that, and then it's like, now it's like they barely got any movies on there anymore, and you can't really see a whole lot, so it almost like, it did the thing where it's like, since I missed out on a couple of weeks, all of a sudden I started like, I haven't been to the movies. The only thing I saw was the Puppet movie, the
Happy Time Murders?
Yeah, Happy Time Murders. How
was that one? I wanted to see it.
It's got funny moments in it, but it really makes me question what Jim Henson's son was like as a boy. Like, what was going on? Like, when they're making, like, like, I almost said Dark Crystal or whatever. Like, I just have a feeling that Jim Henson was like, I can't remember what the guy's name is. Like, Jack, Bobby, whatever the fuck your name is. Where you at? And like open the door, and he's probably just in there like fucking one of those puppets. You know what I mean? Because this movie had more puppet fucking than I've ever thought I'd see in life.
I heard that it's one of those things where it had some funny moments, it had good ideas, but it could have been executed better. That's kind of like the overall consensus.
I'll say this. This is how, if it was a Trey Parker, Matt Stone movie, I know we say this many a times, I feel they could have handled it properly.
The fact that's for most people, you're being nice right now. But for most people, it's like, it's a pass. That's you saying, it's good. It's just not amazing, but it's good.
Well, it still had some funny stuff in it. Like, I still had some good laughs. But it has just like some kind of like awkward, it feels almost like a weird fetish movie all at the same time, too.
Really? Just because for how much like sex jokes are in one movie?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of puppet fucking. Let's just say that.
Well, I know there's movies, like, I didn't know about it until someone mentioned it. Like, they said, this movie's fucked up and all, but there's more fucked up movies, like Meet the Feebles. And I looked up what that was, and holy shit, that movie looks fucking disturbing. There's a, because this isn't the first time they did fucked up puppets. I mean, they're, Team America, World Police, of course. But Peter Jackson, one of his first movies, was a fucked up, dark horror comedy puppet movie called Meet the Feebles. Mm-hmm. And I just look in the trailer, and like, there's a fucking part with a topless fucking hippo and S&M gear and all this kind of, so that one even looks more fucked up than this. So even without even seeing this movie, I was like, Weird Fucked Up Puppets isn't like as edgy as it once seemed. I mean, I guess as long as it was a good detective story.
Well, that's the thing about it, too. It's like, it's not that like that stuff makes it kind of like, it makes it like odd. It's not like it's like, oh, this is like risque or dark or something like that. It just kind of felt like, it felt kind of like almost like pushed and sort of shoved in, kind of like just to like, well, we're gonna try to be edgy. It had that mixed line of almost like where it felt like it could have been a PG-13 kind of comedy, and then all of a sudden it's like throw these hardcore like R stuff in there, and then it kind of bounces back and forth, and it sort of teeter-totters. It's not a bad movie. Once again, it's like totally like middle of the road comedy, like one of those ones like if you watch it, you'll enjoy it. If you don't see it, it's not like you're missing out on. It's not like you're missing. Listen, it's not Team America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like every so often you'll see a movie where there's some there's some like fucked up jokes, and sometimes those fucked up jokes it just feels like you're kind of trying. But if you just buckle down and just amplify the fuck out of those jokes, sometimes, not always, but sometimes it comes back around. It's like the Team America World Police. Now, I have not seen the Puppet movie, or this Puppet movie, so I can't say for certain. But after looking at something like just the trailer to Meet the Feebles, which looked fucking disturbing, because it even looked kind of creepy in some aspects. That looked like a passion project. And this was a passion project to some extent, this one, because it took them 10 years to make. But the fact that it took them 10 years to make this movie, I think they had to make a lot of compromises. And I think that this is like, well, we wanted it because they showed some of the earlier concept art, and it looked like it had a lot more of a noir kind of feel. And this one almost looks like looks like a made-for-TV or a Netflix-style movie with just, fucking fucked up puppets.
Well, it's just so weird, because I just always be like, all I could think of is like, I wonder what Jim Henson would think if he was watching this right now, because this had to be like, son, all my years of work, and this is what you fucking do, a puppet fuck piece?
What, Dad? He has like a fucking like, he has Miss Piggy attached to his dick.
Yeah, he's just like fucking like a David Bowie like statue in the corner, like, my puppet, my way, Dad.
Why is it a David Bowie statue?
The Labyrinth.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was just trying to think of more different things. Well, okay, he's just fucking a Kermit like face.
Yeah.
Whoa. Just like going.
No! Like arms flailing.
I don't know. It's just like because it's a little the thing. I think what makes it weird is just knowing that it's Jim Henson's son, and all I started thinking is like, what's this like confused 12-year-old boy walking around a puppet shop doing? That's all I wondered now.
I kind of wonder if that happened when he saw like.
You know what I mean? A confused 12-year-old boy stuck in a puppet shop.
At some point they're just done filming like the Labyrinth. Like, okay, guys, let's wrap it up. And, he's like peeks around, goes to like the boy puppet from the Labyrinth. Oh, not Labyrinth. Dark Crystal. Goes to the girl one. She's like, oh, where's the Dark Crystal? I don't know. I got a Dark Crystal right here. Really? Oh. She's making a fuck right there.
Oh, I bet you it did.
Timmy! Oh, coming, Dad!
Because that's how this movie felt. This movie felt like it was that it was almost like seeing that, walking into that moment, and having that like, oh, what are you doing, Timmy? What are you doing, Billy? What the fuck's your name?
I almost named you Kermit Jr., but the wife wouldn't approve that.
It's just like all those. It just seems kind of funny. It's like, okay, we're gonna do another Jim Henson movie at Henson Studios, or because it had like Henson Studio. It wasn't like it was obviously like a new Jim Henson section of it, but it just feels like, yep, we haven't done one of these in a while. Well, guess what we're doing?
Can I be brutally honest about the Muppets?
You don't like the one with John Denver in it?
I don't even dislike the Muppets. Muppets are fine. I like them. But I don't see why so many people are just so obsessed with them. And that's not me putting down Jim Henson's work. It's just I see so many people, like, I don't know, a little older than us, like they're trying to like bring Muppets into everything, or trying to reboot the Muppets or represent the Muppets for a new generation. It's one of those things that it's like, I mean, I'm wrong. A Christmas go-to for me is Muppets Christmas Carol, and I still, enjoy the ones we grew up with in the 90s, and even ones dating further back than that. But I really just don't get why they've kind of stuck around as long as they have. And, like, I don't know, because a lot of their stuff, they were kind of very SNL-ish to the extent of their jokes were for there at the moments, and you know what I mean? Because they spoke on a lot of current event type of stuff, like back in the 80s when they first came out.
Yeah, definitely with the original show. It pretty much was like SNL with puppets. Mm-hmm. I kind of agree with you there too. It's like one's like, I love Muppets. Don't get me wrong. Muppet Treasure Island. That's a great movie. That's fantastic. The Labyrinth to me is the one kind of big. I know it's not like a Muppet movie, but like let's just say Jim Henson. It's like the Labyrinth to me. That's kind of the big movie of his, and then also Ninja Turtles because he made the puppets for that.
Yeah. Well, those are that's his studio. I just mean the Muppets. I mean Kermit. I mean Miss Piggy. I mean Fonzie. It's just one of those things that I don't understand. I mean, shit. I guess you have people saying, like, well, I don't understand why you like a guy dressed like a bat, and that's been going on for 80 years.
Well, he punches people in the fucking face. The case solved.
Like, I've been thinking about that kind of thing.
It comes back to the primalness of life.
No. Oh, I think it's I think it's a couple of things why certain things with me stick out. Like, I think the reason why I can like something is child-friendly and it's kiddie is Mario Brothers or Sonic is because it's a video game. And those are actually fun. Mm-hmm. You can go back and you could pick up that old video game, whether it be old or new, you can go back and play it. So even though it's kiddie and it kind of takes you back, it's still a fun game. Where I guess something like Muppets, they were good when they came out, but I guess like that transition to now, you get what I'm saying?
Well, and sometimes this is how I sort of feel. There's certain things in life that I don't think necessarily, like, have to be brought back. You know what I mean? Because, people are always like, oh, you gotta bring it back. And sometimes it's like, maybe it's just good, like, as is. Because you can always go back and watch it. It's never gonna go away. You know what I mean? It's always gonna be there. As long as you believe in it, it will stay in your heart. Like, that kind of thing, And sometimes I don't think everything needs to be new. Something like Batman. Batman can be definitive the whole way through. There's always a crisis. He's a relatable character. It doesn't matter what year it is. He kind of is. And some things I just feel like are time period pieces, and that's kind of fine. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like, like other things too. It's like you could bring another Wayne's World back, and it'd probably be funny if you made a Wayne's World 3 and they're old and so on like that. But it might not capture that same magic. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those ones. I mean, like, granted, I'm one of those people who generally likes sequels. Like, I feel like might as well, if I'm going to get a sequel to something, like, might as well just make it a sequel to the original series and just have them be as old as they are and whatever, But I feel that works a little bit better, like, maybe in action movies and so on like that. Comedy, sometimes it's like, it's almost like a different time, If you made Encino Man 2, that would, I don't know what that would be.
I'd say do it just to see what happens.
Well, I actually wanted that. I take that back. I want to see that because that sounds like that's the Darren Aronofsky sequel.
Yeah, just the gritty, hard drama of just like he never the made-for-TV movie never happened. Fuck that. I never even saw that thing. It's like he's like he never learned to talk. He's still living in my house, throwing shit at people. He chases off the mailman. We got a restraining order, and then Pauly Shore's like, we gotta keep him, man. He's family. You don't throw away family. Fuck you! You ruined my life! He's like, you ruined your own life. You can never ask the girl to dance. You had to get a caveman we found in your backyard and defrosted in order to get the nerve to do the right thing. Everything was handed to you, Sean Astin. You never did anything! Just knifes him.
And they're just in Sean Astin's house, and it's just so run down and just decrepit by this point. You don't really know what happened to the parents. There's light.
He earned it in the will. He maybe killed his parents, and the house was passed on to him.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what happened to the sister?
He went all Thomas Elliot on him. He cut the brakes knowing he'd get the will.
Exactly.
And then the dad survived, and he's all he's in the hospital bed, just grabs the IV, just pinches the IV, no, son, no. I'm sorry, Dad. But me, Pauly Shore, and the caveman, we need a fresh start. And just all the wealth that their parents had just goes, this is maybe 2 years after the first one. He hasn't gone to college yet. He's been like waiting.
Oh, I thought this was like a sequel like 20 years in the future.
No, this happened.
Oh, okay.
This happened like 2 years ago after the movie. But then we jump to now and realize they've just more or less been squatting at his parents' house in his name. They used up all the money. They're almost just like kind of like rummaging through people's trash, looking for food or used needles, whatever they can find.
Encino Man 2.
I'd watch that.
I know, I'm down for that kind of stuff. See, there's certain things like that. It's just like that's just an original idea all in itself. But for the most part, it's like, there's certain things that I don't know. It's just like here's another example. I never watched it, but there's that Three Stooges movie that came out. And granted, I don't want to. I mean, it's the Farley brothers, and they probably like Three Stooges more than like anybody else at the end of the day. But that's almost another example where it's like, is it necessary? You know what I mean? Like, the Three Stooges will always be classic. You know what I mean? You can always go back and watch the Three Stooges. They're always going to be pure hilarious. They'll be timeless, in a sense. Maybe that's
how I felt. And it's not even like I just said fuck that. And I don't even have anything really against that movie or the Farley brothers.
No, because the Farley brothers, they mostly never fail in movies. So it's almost like those ones, like, I just never seen it, but, like, it just felt like one of those weird, like, do we need this? I'm not, maybe it's great. Maybe it's a great movie. I don't want to be saying anything, but.
Maybe it is, but it's like when you hear they're like, we're going to bring the Munsters back to television, but it's going to be a dark, creepy retelling of it. And it's going to be about, a weird, creepy family that lives down the street, and it's an intense drama. It's like, really? The fucking Munsters? The fucking Munsters. The werewolf boy, the fucking... I'm
Herman.
I get them mixed. Herman, fucking the Bride of Frankenstein looking bitch. I can't even, it's like, it seems like the other Addams Family. Even other Addams Family doesn't seem like apparently they're making another Addams Family, whether it be television or movies, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they never made a Munsters movie in the 90s when they did those Addams Family ones. This goes back around to, what the heck were we talking about in the beginning? It was like those, like George of the Jungle, when they were just started making kind of like that generation's, like, TV shows.
Well, they actually... It's kind of funny. I don't remember how I came across it, but I think it was because, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out pretty soon. I guess fairly soon. But, what's that? Fuck.
Just that San Francisco breeze is getting you.
Must be. Or I think I just got like not to give too much information, I think I have like a nose hair bent up in a weird way, so it's just, never ending.
Just whoa!
Yeah, I'm fucking bad.
I'm gonna tickle you later on.
Don't say that in that voice ever again, please. Anyway, there was a right now they're making that Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and I saw an article. I think it was maybe Kotaku. They said that at one point in time back in the 90s, they kind of kept it really like it was still in like the pitching, planning phase, but they were trying to make a Sonic the Hedgehog movie in the 90s, and it was called Sonic and the Wonders of the World. So let me give you I read the pitch, and this is what I got. They said they never had a full-on script. They just had a pitch, and it ended pretty quickly. And it seems like there's a lot of excess there. Like, first off, it seems like, the movie never happened, so I hope they do the really stupid, shitty, crass thing of just crowbarring the name in there to something that has barely anything to do with it. But then they kind of go off and just goes into, like, kind of a weird direction of what it probably would have been at the time. But it starts off with this kid who is doing a report for school about a guy who was named Sonic. And this is going to seem like, really, they did that, but it just seems like very unnecessary setup. A guy named Sonic who was trying to break, like, the sound barrier by using experimental jets and experimental race cars, and the guy died in an explosion and this and that. And just this history lesson on this guy. And he was trying, and his dad worked at some kind of tech company. And he was trying to, I don't remember what, but try and find some kind of data on it. And what he did is, using a Sega Saturn, he hooked up the Sega Saturn to this thing to try and get data on this guy and all that. And what ends up happening is Sonic comes out of the Sega Saturn, like, whoa, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm your best friend. I'm like, "Oh, Sonic, you're real? Yeah, you fucking bet I'm real." And he just goes off like, he's like, "Well, he can't go out in the real world. It's dangerous out there. Whatever, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want." You know, and just goes running into the town.
Just running
out of the fucking way, just knocking shit over. But he realizes, you know, whenever he hits or jumps and lands on something, he actually hurts himself. It's kind of like Last Action Hero. Like he actually, oh wow, I could actually hurt myself here.
The fuck's wrong with this world?
It's fucking stupid.
Where's the fucking chili dog stand? Sonic, I didn't know you swore that much. Yeah, well, that's because I didn't have a voice processor in the game, you fuck.
Give me a fucking chili dog. Now, what if this becomes like just some weird, edgy horror film where Sonic just holds the whole house hostage? Like someone's running the door, and cuts him off. Like, where the fuck you going?
You ain't going
Give me some
nowhere.
fucking chili.
So you make me a goddamn fucking chili dog.
The dog's barking. Shut that fucking dog up! Shut that fucking dog up! He like does a spin dash, just like splats the dog. No one's leaving the fucking house till I get a fucking chili dog! He's like, just like if you gave a shitty like 16-year-old like the power of like supersonic speed.
Yeah, and having like a blade when he charged up and everything.
Yeah. So, anyway, from there, what ends up happening? Shit. So what ends up happening there is he kind of goes out and you realize with the portal, Robotnik came through too. And he's been trying to track down Sonic. I think they're actually trying to find the Chaos Emeralds. Like, Chaos Emeralds are actually in our world or something like that. And what ends up happening is, I want to say, Sonic's trying to get back to his world, and Robotnik decides to build up a theme park. And all the kids go there. It's free! All the kids can go in! And this is where I think they're like, oh, this got a little dark for a minute. It gets also kind of like Temple of Doomish. All the kids can go in. Whenever a kid goes in, they get scanned, they get kidnapped, and they're replaced by an obedient robot clone.
Huh, that's kind of cool.
So the kids are down there in like this little like mine facility digging for the Chaos Emerald or wherever. And Sonic and the other kid go there like, we gotta fucking stop him! You know, so they go there and they try to stop him, and I guess they probably do. I'm assuming they stop him.
Yeah.
And then Sonic goes back to his world, and we never see Tails or Knuckles. He just goes back, and that was the movie, and they were planning to make more. And they said they liked the idea, but it just never took off, or, you know, whatever.
I kind of want to see that movie. I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like that would have been cool in that, like, old school 90s way. That would have been that...
Casper, kind of...
Yeah! You know what I mean? Like, it sounds kind of goofy, but, like, at the same time, like, you know, somebody thought kind of on that one on how to bring that out. And it's like, you know, I don't know, maybe this day and age, it's just like, I'm kind of down for, like, you know, those kind of ideas. It's like, yeah, it's not the Sonic that maybe you think you want and so on, but hell, if that's the Sonic we're going to get, I'll take it. I'm interested. That sounds weird enough.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Sorry, I just got a weird email regarding...
She's like, what are you talking about my movie, bro? Was my fucking chili dog done again?
Just like a meme of Sonic, like, waving his finger, like, very sinisterly.
I didn't say you could fucking go out. You know why? You're sneezing, right? You got some blue dust in your nose, don't you?
You haven't got the antidote yet. You're not fast enough to catch it.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
Kill. Sonic is a serial killer.
Sonic's eating chili dog. Sonic's gonna kill you. Sonic's super awesome. Fuck you if you don't like my song.
That'd be scary if just a serial killer moving at the speed of light.
Well, that's what I mean. Sonic would be a horrible supervillain. God, you know, because Dr. Robotnik could almost be like, you know, I think about it, he's like, oh, what was he? He's a mad genius who's so fat that he's gonna fly around in his own cart. It's like, oh.
Well, I guess that's the equivalent to, like, you know, a rascal. It hovers.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, think about if it was the other way around. It was just like, oh, Dr. Robotnik, he's just this very obese man, and he's trying to stop this fast hedgehog from holding people hostage and killing them until they bring him chili dogs. Like, what will Dr. Eggman do?
Tails is like, he only keeps me. He only saves me and the animal critters because he knows I know how to cook chili dogs. The animal critters, he says, he gathers them and throws them into a meat grinder. Why do you think he's so intent in fighting them? Robotnik's putting them in these metal suits to defend themselves from Sonic.
Exactly. He's trying to save himself, man. You know what I mean? Like, I get out of here, but sometimes it's that kind of thing. It's best to be with the guy. You know, be friends with the serial killer instead of being on, you know, his enemy. That's how I've kind of chose, as being Tails. And then Knuckles is there too, but he uses him as, like, you know, the muscle, you know, the guard the door and so on. And he also likes it when he's beatboxing and rapping for him, and then they start dancing. They say that I can't come in and dance, that I'm not cool enough. Sonic also says I'm too white to dance with him, but I don't know what that means because he always felt wired to me. You don't tell him that, but...
I don't want to get my throat slit.
You know, I wanted to ask you, Suzuki, if I could have a rap song when I entered on the game, but they said no. And then there was a pause in the room, and then they left, and then the lights went out.
They locked me in. They locked me in there. That was the whole weekend.
Yeah, I couldn't go out or the alarm would go off, so, yeah, I never got the rap track. Knuckles did, apparently. Just saying.
I'm Tails.
I mean, I know he's
best friend.
I know he's got dreadlocks and all, but, you know, still.
You could dream about flying high, just flying away out of here, but when you can only fly for 5 seconds before you get out of breath, you know, it's like my dad always said. You can look up at the sky, but don't reach. You'll fuck up your back.
Yeah, you know, and especially when, you know, you got your friend Sonic who just eats a bunch of chili dogs and expects you to carry him up a skyscraper.
He can run it off, but he wants to watch you suffer. And the thing is, he could slow down enough for me to catch up, but he could just speed off and leave me in the dust and never see me again. But he slows down just enough. Just so I can get my hope, just so I can almost catch up to him, and then just takes off again. It never ends.
It's an endless cycle, you know. And of course, the camera doesn't stay on Tails, because nobody cares.
God forbid Tails getting the attention.
Yeah, God forbid they call the game Tails and Sonic.
And the other thing is, it also has. You ever seen Transporter 3? If I get too far away from him, I explode. He rigged it in my sleep. Yeah, he originally said he was designed for someone else, but then he chloroformed me, fucking stitched into the side of my neck.
Is Tails' name ever mentioned in any of the Sonic games, like titles?
Tails, Miles per hour?
No, but like mentioned, like it's always Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, it's Sonic and Knuckles.
And Sonic Chaos was called Sonic and Tails in Japan. And then...
Which one was?
Sonic Chaos for the
Game Gear one?
It was originally called Sonic and Tails in Japan.
And I think there's another one on the Game Gear too that has the Tails name in it too. Now that you...
Well, there's a Tails game.
Yeah, just straight up Tails game.
He doesn't move fast. He uses gadgets. He walks around. He's like on his little Tails island on a little adventure. Then these evil bird people come in, start attacking. Like, you can't really fly. Flying's for those in the sky. They belong wings, not two tails. You know, so he has to fight them off. Yeah,
there's that one. Forgot about that. But out of the main series, I guess. Yeah, it's like Tails just gets the fucking shaft. Knuckles gets way... Hell, Shadow's got his own game. Doesn't Silver even have his name in some of those?
I don't think Silver has his name. You have
maybe not.
Sonic, you have Shadow, Sonic and Knuckles. I don't know. You might get something else. It'd be really bad if, like, Knack the Weasel or some shit. Like, Knack's Treasure Hunt or some bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Or, like, Big the Cat's, like, fishing. Big the Cat's fishing
adventure. He does. Yeah.
Oh, it's on the phone. That's right.
Yeah.
Big the Cat.
There's one year, like, we got some big announcements for Sonic the Hedgehog.
25th anniversary.
And they're just like, hey, so we got some 25th anniversary merchandise, a soundtrack, and, oh, don't you worry, we got a trailer. For what? Big the Cat? Like, go fuck yourself. Next year, like, we're sorry. Here's Sonic Mania. Here's Sonic Forces. A little bit of stuff about the movie, the comics, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, did Sega think that was a funny joke or something? Because that's... Ain't nobody excited about fucking Big the Cat the game.
I guarantee. Well, apparently there's 2 or 3 of them, so I guarantee you there are.
Yeah.
But
well, in Japan, they love their fishing. Boy, I tell you what.
Maybe he's big in Japan, but I know that in America, Sonic's not even. Well, in Japan, Sonic's not even that popular. He's almost more of a character made for America to consume.
Kind of like how Donkey Kong, like with Shigeru Miyamoto, was like, it's made for fucking retarded Americans. They're a bunch of fucking stupid people. It took a bunch of British fucking blokes to make. Okay, Shigeru, you can calm down now. No, fuck it. It's a stupid game for retards. There, I said it. Oh, jeez, he's just going at it now. Shigeru, calm the fuck down. Yeah, that's what a fucking American is. That's why we gave him Mario 2.
Fuck up! I just
I picture being like, it's in all in Japanese, and this is the guy translating it.
But nobody still has that very calm demeanor. He's just like,
yeah, but
does not look angry at all.
But that's what I always think it's funny. Is that's how Shigeru Miyamoto looked at Donkey Kong Country. It's like, I liked how he said it was for stupid Americans. That was made by like English people. What's that supposed to mean?
He didn't actually say it was made for stupid Americans. He said something to the effect of like,
well, it was better worded than that. Let me see.
It was like more or less Americans will buy anything, good or bad, as long as it has good graphics. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Which is still, the punchline.
Stupid Americans. At the end of the day, that's what he was poking at. He, as I said, he worded it better, but I like to hear it like in the more like exactly like how it was like define it for layman's terms.
It's like, fuck you, you're gonna play whatever we give you. No, I won't. He just throws like a Super Nintendo in front of you with a cartridge. Aren't you, what, you don't want to take the free shit? Well, I guess I do. So I thought, you stupid fuck. It's just very confrontational. It's like, you're not gonna take a free fucking video game given to you by the creator of Mario himself? Well, I guess I am. You don't gotta be so fucking mean. I could be whatever the fuck I want. I'm Shigeru Miyamoto, bitch.
Exactly. It's like he's like, oh, I went over there, yeah, and I slapped some English people around. I told them to make a fucking Donkey Kong game. Told those fucking British blokes what's up.
You don't gotta call them blokes just because they're British. Fuck yeah, I do.
Fuck yeah, I'm in their country. I'm gonna speak their slang.
I need to speak the words of the people.
I don't always go with the poor Rare in Donkey Kong Country, but
nah, it just takes you places. I was gonna say, we probably gotta wrap it up here soon, but I actually just wanted to say this. Probably won't go onto it too long because we were talking movies we saw recently. I just want to say, see Blind Spotting when you can. Really, really good movie. It's essentially about like this dude who's on parole, and he's just like 3 days till he's done with parole. It's actually shot in like West Oakland. Has this whole like sense of like Oakland pride and all that.
That's cool.
And it kind of covers like all this gentrification. It's like it's interesting to see a movie where it's not too far away from where you live. Like I was watching this movie, I'm like, oh wow, that is just like 2 blocks away from my girlfriend's house right there. And it was so interesting watching a movie talking about all the hipster and all the tech shit going on here, which you never see movies cover, but just talking about like, you know, these guys living in Oakland, seeing things change around them, getting all gentrified at the same time, being kind of like judged for like living there their whole lives. One dude is black. He's the main character, and he's coming off parole. The other dude is like more of it's a comedy actually. It's a drama, but it's actually legitimately really funny. It seems kind of like to some extent, it seems kind of like a Spike Lee movie if he was in the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
With a little bit of Kevin Smith in there, because it's a day in the life thing. Like it's actually a legitimately really funny movie. There's a line in the movie. It's just like, they're talking about someone getting arrested. It says, "Shit, I didn't know hipsters were so flammable."
Now, is this like a major motion picture? Because I just never heard about this movie or saw a trailer for it.
It's not a major motion picture. It's more like that mid-range kind of point.
It sounds like it's probably at select theaters.
It kind of is. I think it came out a while ago. I think it's reason why it's here still. It's because, it's Bay Area. So I think that's why. And the guy who made it's apparently from the two stars of the movie, Raphael Castle and David Diggs, they're both the 2 main characters. So it's kind of like also Good Will Hunting on that aspect, where they wrote it together and starred in it together.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That sounds like a good one to check out at some point. Yeah, because I don't think that's shown up at the theaters anywhere near me, but...
It also kind of covers a lot of things like, just kind of like, violence, cops and violence, and like, in like inner city and all that kind of stuff. And there's a part where it actually, I'll be honest, because this movie is really fucking funny, but the scenes where it gets dramatic, I can't remember the last time I was like this tense in a movie. Like, oh fuck, don't do that.
It's got like an
don't
In Bruges feel.
Kind of like an In Bruges kind of feel. Like, well, I'm going to say this, it has a happier end than In Bruges, but it's one of those things where you're watching the movie and there's some of those moments like, oh fuck, don't do that, and you're just so fucking tense, because it's one of those, plus it gets across that this dude has 3 days till he's done with probation, and that his friend is just a loose cannon, and you never know what he's going to do. So one of those kind of things.
Huh. Interesting. I'll check that one out. I'll look for it online if it's not in theaters anymore.
I think that one might be on Movie Pass.
Yeah, Movie Pass only has like 2 movies now at a time in like the fucking entire California. So it's fucking tough. That's what makes it difficult. It's like, when I look up, it's like, shit, are you kidding me? Like in the entire Central California, there's like 2 movies I can watch.
Yeah.
It's like, what the? Yeah. And they're never like the movies you really want to watch. That's the worst part about it. It's always kind of like, you chose these movies? Like, come on.
Well, when you can see this, check it out. It's probably one of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
I'll have to check that out then. Because, yeah, I've been kind of like, you get so spoiled at going to the movie theater, and then all of a sudden it's just ripped from you like a fucking infant child that had superpowers like Sonic the Hedgehog, and now you just don't know what to do.
I know you. When you went into the theater with the Movie Pass, I bet you just had "Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster" playing in your head.
Well, shit, I felt like I was double dipping because I had like the Regal card and I had the Galaxy card. So like you swipe your Movie Pass, and I feel like I was like an ex-member anyways, because like I had it set, or like an original member, because I had Movie Pass when it was $35 a month, and that was still a hell of a deal. So I was like going in there, getting the Regal points, just like, yeah, I can get whatever I want, go to like Galaxy, scan those points too, like just like all kinds of free stuff.
Just walking in, like your seat's right over here, sir. It's like it's all like extra cushioned, has your name on it.
Exactly, and then it's just like,
we knew you'd be here, sir.
Then Movie Pass, I kept telling them, I was like, dude, just raise that price, but they're just so afraid not to raise their price. I think really what's going to happen is somebody else is going to jump in right now and be like, well, we're $15, or even if they go like, hey, we're $19.99, but you can see anything you want, bloop, everybody will jump ship instantly just because of that.
Yeah,
it's stupid. It's like, I think it's because Movie Pass is trying to compete with Netflix. I'm like, why are you competing with Netflix? That's not your competition at all.
Well, I think another thing that, aside from just their business model, which they're losing so much money, I think Gotti really brought them down, because they helped produce that movie. They put a lot of money into that, and that movie did fucking horribly. So, yeah.
I don't think it was. I think it's not necessarily Movie Pass themselves. I mean, granted, it probably is like from the the theaters and the movie studios probably had kind of like a whoa, wait a second,
Well, just the idea of like someone paying like $30 for unlimited movies.
Oh, it's $9.99.
Okay, now $9.99 for unlimited, and then paying that once a month, and then going and knowing Movie Pass is paying that, they're probably bleeding a lot of money.
Well, because like, I mean, people like me went and saw like 6 or plus movies a month. You know what I mean? And here's the thing: it costs $12.50 to go see a movie. Mm-hmm. $9.99. Yeah. You see one movie, you beyond paid for it. Yeah. And that's why I said, like, when it was $35, it was still worth it, because it's like, I just, if I went and saw 5 movies in a month, all I had to see is 3 movies, and I paid for it, so the rest were all free from there. But yeah, it's just such a bummer for them to kind of screw that up, and then now they're because this is the downfall, is you always want to watch when you undercut your prices, because it's easy to go down, it's really tough to go back up. Because once you go, I mean, you look at Netflix. Netflix kind of has that problem. They raise their price like $1, and people like fucking flip out like they've never seen money go up before. And it's like, you stupid fucks, you want to get paid more for your minimum wage, and you can't expect to pay more for everything else. That's how it works. Don't you fucking get it? And it's just like, that stuff's so dumb. So it makes it really tough for a company to raise a price when they need to raise a price.
Yeah. People just don't get that. They think they're just getting, a new minimum wage, and that's that. Everything's else remain the same price.
That's the stupidest fucking thing ever, is raising the minimum. I really think they should drop back down to like 99 cents, and all the other prices will come down with it. Let's just do that. Make it.
I'm not in the right state of mind to talk about to talk about economics right now.
It's affecting my
It's
movie
already
pass,
one of those
damn it.
things. It's already one of those things I gotta look into before I talk about it, because I really don't know jack shit. Like, well, I know this, and this. Let me look that up.
Well, you
all right.
just a perfect example. It's like movies are a perfect example of like a movie ticket has pretty much always stayed about give or take the minimum wage price, or at least I'll say a matinee price has always been about minimum wage. Whatever minimum wage is, that's mostly a matinee price. So, think about, like, when minimum wage was only like $5, movie tickets were only like $5, As they...
Now an average ticket goes from like 12 to like 15.
And that's like at nighttime. I would say matinee. At nighttime, yeah, it's a little bit higher. But yeah, that's the thing, though. It's like, and it's, people just want fucking to raise that minimum wage. They're just gonna raise our movie tickets, goddammit.
You're just like one of those things, like, I'm running for Congress. Why? I want to bring Movie Pass back.
Keep your movie tickets down, give freedom, goddammit. Who likes going to movies? Who wants free movies? Just like start like shuffling out some movie tickets into the audience. Who wants free
Everything
popcorn?
Everything else you're doing is just like turning the entire state into a ghetto. You go to any movie theater, though, it is nice and pristine.
You know what? I had an idea. I've had this my entire life since I was a little kid. Imagine when you walk into a movie theater, it's like walking into a 7-Eleven. You have that much selection. Because has it ever bothered you before that you go into a movie theater and all they have to offer you is popcorn, a hot dog, and a soda? You don't fucking want that. Where's the other shit? You know what I mean? Oh, at my movie theater, we got a 7-Eleven hooked up to the front. You get Gatorades, you can get yourself a Monster, you can get yourself a Bang because it's fucking awesome. You get yourself candy bars, chips, well, you name it, it's there. You get fucking pizza, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. It's a 7-Eleven in front of a fucking movie theater. Like, figure it fucking out. Movie Pass.
Check this out. It's not $5 more either than like what it is marked up in a movie theater. No, it's like a regular fucking 7-Eleven.
Just like a regular 7-Eleven. That Starburst right there, $1.25. That's all it is.
Come on in now. You have like a barbershop quartet hat and a fucking cane. Right in, folks. Right in.
And look,
free tickets right here. Just throw them in the air.
Cards, it'd be like, oh, do those cost money? No, they're free because you pay to come into the movie theater. Come on in, boy. Have a trading card.
One more on me, haha!
Just like a band's in the car, like, like, what's playing the president?
Boys.
Well, I think he's trying to run for president after this. This is his like stage.
I'll say this before we go. I just want to get this part across. I don't care what people say of the implications of what this could or should be. If somebody said, you know what? I know there's a lot of violence going on in the world right now. A lot of cops shooting unarmed dudes and all that, and that's fucked up. But we're suggesting guards with tasers in every movie theater.
Dude, no.
To shut people up.
Oh,
if they're
yeah,
talking,
fuck yeah.
You get one warning. Like, excuse me, sir. Please stop talking during the fucking movie. They go back to the corner. Someone talking. Taser that fucker. Taser him. I don't give a shit. And then people who pull out their cell phones to film it, taser them too. Their cell phones shouldn't be on in the fucking theater.
Take them outside, fucking beat the shit out of them in the back alley, take their cell phone, throw it in a bucket of water, and tell them, don't you fucking come back until you learn how to get some fucking manners. I want some old school justice happening here, like we're in the Old West.
And if those people, you have movie probation, and if you don't get movie probation, you get a special theater designated for those people. What those people are, what they get, they walk into a theater. First off, when you walk into it, just so they know where they're at, it's caged around. There's barbed wire on the fence. All right, but you can still look up to see the theater. But you see, the seats are not like at an angle, so it's like you're all sitting there facing the screen. They're all uncomfortable fold-out chairs. So you sit there in the middle of this thing. You look up. There's no other option.
You have to look up like you're playing N64 in a Walmart in the 90s.
Exactly. Perfect analogy. And not only that, these are the same type of people that bring their fucking kids. So we also could have some toys on the fucking hard cement ground for the kids to play with while you guys want to watch your fucking movie.
I've always thought about this too. I would pay a premium price to have a movie theater where I knew that it was well taken care of. Children weren't allowed. If people talked, they got their asses whooped. Maybe they paused the movie, whooped the guy's ass right in front of us all so we could cheer, and then drug him out and went back to the movie. But I would pay extra to have a premium movie place that I don't have to deal with all those other schmucks showing up and ruining our good times.
Yeah. You know what? There's people who just make a big deal, because oh well, you're inciting challenge. People are gonna start doing that just to fucking start some shit with the guard. What if you get like the fucking Rock doing that or whatever? Well, first off, the Rock wouldn't do that because the Rock's a good person.
He's got fucking respect.
Second,
goddammit.
Yeah, a man with that much discipline is not gonna talk during the fucking movie. But what you do is, I guess you could even get like fucking attack guard German Shepherds. Something like that, like you get those ones that are just like trained by the fucking military. I would pay for the government to step in. That's like one of the few things I want the government to step in and just be like very assertive about what you can and cannot do in the movie theater.
I know. Make that, send someone to jail for talking during the movies. You know what? That's fine. That's probably where they belong anyways. They're probably not good people in the first place. I'm just saying this right now.
Anything else, that's the one thing. We're like, no. Give tasers, give batons to guards in the movie theater. I'm all for that.
Yep, exactly. You know what I mean? And let excessive violence happen because it's a movie theater. It's okay. They broke the law, goddammit. They got what they deserve.
Yeah, like you said, if it does happen, well, shit, we got a new show now. Pause the movie.
Yeah, pause the movie. Just let them go at it, too. Just let them go to town with those batons. Okay, you can make them out of Nerf so they don't hurt as much.
No.
Yeah, I like the real baton more. I know that.
Let's go metal. We gotta make it metal.
You know what I mean? Just swinging at it, Because you know what? There's something to be said. It's one of those ones. Violence shouldn't be necessary, but when it comes down to it, some people need a fucking lesson. You know what I mean? And there's only one way you're gonna teach them because they're just those kind of people out there. They're not gonna learn from being told. You could put a sign up. A sign sounds nice, but you gotta remember that most people are fucking retarded, and they're not gonna read a sign as they walk past it. That's just human nature. So, for those, exceptional people, at one point in time, they used to tie people to, like, a stake and burn it, but, we don't need to go that far anymore. We're past that point. We're civilized now. We'll take them out back, kick them in the balls, beat them up a couple bit, destroy their cell phone in front of them, teach them that.
As they break their cell phone in front of them, they just go,
start pounding like an ape as we cheer on. And then at the end, we can put our thumbs up or down like we're in Gladiator.
In the pit! In the pit!
This is probably like 70 years ago when airplanes started to get popular to fly in. That this probably went down right off the bat. Like, whoa. You're going to put me in the same place with these animals that are just talking and, I need a first class. I want somewhere where I'm protected. I'm guarded. I don't have to listen to this. There's no fucking screaming children. It's like, that's all I also want. Can we get first class, like, movie theater? I know that sounds like Richie Rich things, but all I'm asking for is obviously some people just can't handle it. I want to be in an environment where people can handle it. I'll pay extra for this guard if that's the case. If that's all we need, I'll tip. You're supposed to tip your guard on the way out, too. Keep that in mind.
Regarding rich people with kids who go sit in first class and let their kids be in coach, one of the reasons why that, like, the family and and Home Alone aren't good is because they got all their kids back there just running amok, and then 4 parents up front in first class being like, the steak seems a little rare. I don't know.
That's the one thing that always kept bothering me about Home Alone. Is Home Alone, like, I felt like I did not relate to anybody in that movie. That movie was like one of those ones like, whoa. These people are way too rich and way too, like, out there to, like, know what's going on in the real life. You know what? I understand why these wet bandits are doing this thing, because they have to live in the Chicago area where they can't make a living. You know what I mean? So this is what they had to resort to. I get it.
We don't see the hard, gritty, like independent movie about the wet bandits, about their abusive fathers. They're like crack whore mothers.
You'll never amount to anything. You're a fucking loser. That's all you'll ever be. A blonde kid will ruin your day in the future. Don't you ever fucking forget these words. But Ma, you're dying. I don't want these to be your last words. They're my last fucking words. Fuck. I hate you. You're the worst fucking son ever. I can't believe
disappointments.
You're just the biggest disappointment. You're the biggest disappointment I've seen since Jaws 3.
I hope a blonde Aryan child ruins your fucking life. Twice, to be exact.
And then he'll live off that money he makes from those 2 fucking movies till the end of time and never have to really do anything else except for the things he wants to do. And you'll just sit back and wonder whatever happened to your life. That's how it's gonna be.
Where will be your good fellas then to back you up? That was the last time I ever spoke to Ma.
Oh, Home Alone. What a goofy movie. But make sure to come out and check out oldmanorange.com for more comics like Pizza Boys, that's Pizza Boys with a Z, animations like Spunkles the Rabbit, more podcast fun times, videos, and whatever the hell else we got up on there. Come on by Old Man Orange. Also got the blog going too. You can read some fun stuff there. But till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan.
We'll see you some other time.
Later, folks.
Thanks again for listening to the Old Man Orange Podcast. Sure, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, animation, and a whole lot more. We also have the Old Man Orange blog going with all kinds of fun stuff. If you easily want to support the show, use one of our Amazon links either on the website or in the description of the podcast below. Rate, review, and subscribe to the show either on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Newgrounds, or anywhere else that you seem to get this podcast from. Grab the sitcom-styled comic book Pizza Boys on either Comix Central, Comixology, or Amazon. Want more podcasts? Check out the Indie Comics Club over at Comix Central. I also got a workout website called Thor's Hidden Gym, filled with fitness tips and tricks, videos, and a whole lot more fun stuff in the calisthenics world. Talk to us on Twitter at Spencer S. Holmes and Dunigan Ryan. Like our Facebook pages of Old Man Orange Productions and Pizza Boys Comic. Thanks again, we're out of here.